So for most, it's really difficult to just straight up discipline your mind and therefore change your habits. We're able to discipline our mind for a few days, maybe a week or so, but the moment stress hits, we're caught off guard and those old, maybe unhelpful patterns come back. So something I've realized over the past 20 years or so, working with people and of course working with my own stuff, is that the most important thing to focus on when it comes to gaining control of your mind and then of course gaining control of your life is to focus on increasing awareness. And in increasing awareness, then increasing the ability to focus your attention where you want your attention to be. Most start off trying to do more exercise, eating less, trying to say no to different things. And starting with action is kind of like trying to say, like fix the reflection in the mirror, by working on the mirror. And of course, then you're working on the symptom and not getting into the root cause of the problem, right? Which is something more internal. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how mindfulness, and more clearly, awareness in the present moment and working with your attention aligned with actions is actually a better way of dealing with your habits, changing your life, and doing it in a way that makes your mind and your body want to change. So here's something I've noticed. Again, my own self-work and working with a lot of people is that when trying to reach a goal or change a habit, we get stuck in the image of how things should be. And there's like trying to reach that image or try to act out that way of being in a sort of a disconnected way, getting stuck in our minds, right? And trying to reach out to something. And in doing that, there's like a rejection of the present moment, like trying to force ourselves unnaturally to get where we're not. And there's kind of a desperation, there's kind of a force in that. And that forcing and that rejection of where we are, not fully being with where we are and trying to reach something else is actually the energy and frequency that keeps us stuck, you know. Something that we often forget is that the most effective way, and actually the only way to develop a new way of showing up in the world is to be fully present now. Right? Kind of like that Zen saying that it's by doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way that the magic happens. And the magic being able to fully embody life and change the direction of your life in a powerful, full way. So try to think about the last time you really tried to quit something, put a lot of effort in, use that all kind of like force or white knuckle mentality, just breaking through it. For many, they'll report back that they experience increased tension, an increase of the urge. And what's happening there is that there's an old program that's already playing out that now you're fighting against, and that's creating more tension. And the more you're trying to fight against it, the more it's pushing back. It's like having like a beach ball and pushing it underwater. It's gonna bounce back up, right? So when you just say to yourself to stop and to go against it without understanding the old pattern, your body's gonna fight back. And that shows up as this discomfort, this urge, the desire to avoid in some kind of way. The alternative, of course, then, is to have a more deeper felt understanding of what you're trying to do in the first place. What was the strategy? What was the rebalancing or the desired state that the urge and the avoidance or the addictive behavior was trying to achieve? So being more mindful, being more aware, being able to listen inward is a key in doing that. Like I just mentioned, every habit exists because it solved the problem. You check your phone, there's like a dopamine hit that numbs anxiety or a little bit of escape happens, right? Um, you reach for junk food, there's a comfort or some energy that you're looking for, quick energy that you're looking for. You procrastinate, there's a tension relieving that happens in that moment. And over time, that becomes a maladaptive kind of like equilibrium that your body is seeking. There's like a rigid system of functioning that we've taken on that becomes familiar, but of course it's harmful, right? It's harmful because it's going against what we really want in life. Um, so the key is to begin to be aware of it and to be aware in a very non-judgmental way. Because when you do that, when you have the awareness inward in a non-judgmental way, your nervous system doesn't become more tense, right? You can just observe. And when you observe in this non-judgmental way, something really remarkable happens. You re-engage your ability to choose, right? And to choose in a very natural way, right? You actually choose what you really want in that moment versus the old pattern, what the old pattern was offering you. You can also bring in the added work of values-oriented living, right? And something that I'll talk about in a future video, right? But for now, just understanding, pausing, being able to notice the urge when it comes up, checking in, having some sense of understanding of it, and then being able to choose what's most healthy and life-affirming for you is the power that you're regaining through mindful attending, right? Through not trying to force. And if you think about it, a lot of us have had this experience of where somebody who drives, right? Or we're driving somewhere. And as you're driving, you find yourself at a different destination if you're driving kind of like unconsciously. But once you wake up, you realize that you're going off track. There's not a lot of force. You just automatically go on track because you realize that's not the way you wanted to go. It's just out of habit. You started going that way. So really, it's about increasing that awareness, right? Once you increase that awareness, there's a natural reorienting that can happen. That's less about force and more about awareness, right? It's more about awareness and taking action more consistently in alignment with the person you want to grow into. So let me break it down to like a 3 simple step process, right? Because having simple steps to begin to integrate it into your life when you're first trying to show up differently can be super helpful. So the first thing, like I mentioned, is to pause. All right. In the moment, just noticing in your body the urge as it comes up. Let's say you have the urge to check your phone, eat something, avoid a task. You pause. You pause, take a breath, and just notice. And try to notice more specifically in the center of your body, your stomach, your chest, your throat area. What's happening there? All right. What's the feeling? Anxiety, boredom, restlessness. Just noticing where you're feeling it, the tension and tightness, and then trying to put words to it. There's some anxiety there. Oh, there's a sense of boredom and restlessness. And just observing that non-judgmentally begins to wake you up, and the automatic reactions loses its grip. And after the pause, right? Now we're looking at how do we move into a spirit of curiosity instead of criticism, right? Shifting it from criticism to curiosity. Most importantly, and really the only reason, is because criticism for criticism's sake is usually not helpful, right? And oftentimes the automatic critic that comes up is just full of shame. So then you have the urge and the shame that's there, which of course is not helpful. When we become authentically curious about what's going on, then something else can reveal itself, right? But again, at first, we're not even looking for something to reveal itself. We're just changing the way that we relate to our inner experience. We move from a place of genuine curiosity and trying to figure out slowly, that's weird. This thing is coming up again. What is happening here? You know, what is it that our nervous system is trying to achieve? What state is it that our nervous system is looking for? Right? And there's a subtle difference in how I'm saying that too. Instead of saying, what is it that my nervous system is looking for? I'm saying, what is it our nervous system is looking for? It was kind of like a weird reframe, but it works in reducing the stress response by shifting it to like a distancing type of inner dialogue. I know it's kind of weird, but it actually works, right? When we move from I to we and from mine to our, there's a subtle distancing that also reduces the stress. So now the third step, right? After we have the pause, the curiosity, then we can choose an action that's in alignment with our values, right? We can ask ourselves, what action can we take that can give us this sense of calm? Or what action can we take that can give us a sense of connection? Or what action can we take that can give us more energy that's more in alignment with the person that we want to become? Right? Then we can choose a response versus the automatic unconscious response. So if we need to calm down, instead of avoiding, maybe we can take some breaths, right? If we're feeling like we need connection, maybe we can text a friend or say a prayer or do something else, right? If we need more energy, maybe we can move our bodies, go for a walk, do some jumping jacks or something to get the energy flowing, right? So we really want to ask more, like, what is the actions that are more in alignment with the person we want to grow into? What are our values that we want to live out? And again, in this, there's not a fighting now, right? Now you're moving in alignment with the person that you want to become. You connect with the felt urge. You're able to then not judgmentally be curious about what is the need underneath there. And then you're able to take action to achieve that goal or relieve that need in a more calm, grounded way. So there's like an inner integrity now. But it all comes from being able to connect with the present moment, right? To be more aware of what's happening in a fully felt way in your body. And as you do that, there's continued growth into the person you want to become. So the truth and the main thing here is that change doesn't come really, long-term change doesn't come by trying to force yourself to be different. It comes from being more aware of what's going on right now. And that genuine awareness isn't something that you do in the future, isn't something that you're reaching for. It's something that you can start doing right now, right? And I would encourage you to begin with is to just to pause, getting into the habit of pausing and checking in and noticing how you're on the inside. And that small movement of increased awareness is really enough to disrupt that old pattern. And once you begin to disrupt that old pattern, you begin to change little by little. But it all starts with right now, right? It all starts with being able to check in and notice how you are right now. And then by noticing how you are right now, becoming curious about what the need is, or what the urge is, then you can take an action that's in alignment with your values or the person you want to continue to grow into. But it all starts with here, noticing what's happening, right? So again, getting into the habit of checking in, noticing that felt experience each and every day. Maybe take some time in the morning, midday, in the evening, just to pause and check in how I am right now. You know, what is happening for me right now? Listening, stomach area, chest, and throat. As you do this, then when the urge hits, you'll be more consciously aware of it. And then you can go through the process of pausing, becoming curious. Okay, what is happening? And then choosing.